Say something fantastic.
And we're back with our ongoing look at the Marvel Rivals art style and applying it to our DC characters. In today's video, we're looking at that awesome 2D painted style that they apply to their characters. And we're going to see if we can duplicate that in a 2D format and paint it on our DC characters. How do our rivalized DC characters turn out? Well, let's find out. Hello again. Thank you so much for joining me today. As always, I'm Brad. Just a quick shout out to all the new subscribers who have found me through the DC version of the Marvel Rival characters that I've been doing. And if you're interested in supporting this channel more, I will be offering digital downloads for those DC Rival characters for a very small fee, and your support would mean the world to me. I'd be so grateful, and you'd be helping this channel so much. So again, thank you to all the new subscribers. I hope you stick around to the end. And with that, let's get on with the video. In our previous Rivals art video, we applied that cartoony action comic book style from the Marvel Rivals game to some DC characters. I decided to go with the DC Trinity, Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, and really tried to capture that Marvel Rivals character design style and apply it to these characters. Was I successful in rivalizing these DC characters, at least in the line art? Well, I guess that's up to you, but I'm pretty happy with it. I certainly would have adjusted a few things. I may have forgotten a certain magic lasso. More on that later. Stay tuned. Also, because these videos can be quite time consuming, I decided to push Batman's color designs until the next video. And with that, I will add another character to go along with him from design to colors. So in this video, we are coloring our Superman and Wonder Woman designs. On screen, I'm adding the flat color layers for my original Superman design. But before I get too far into the color designs here, I want to re-examine the character color designs from the game. If I look at a couple characters here, and there's a few things that really stand out. The first thing is that strong white rim light on the left side of the characters. The intention being that there is a off-screen light source lighting them up from behind, but only on that one side as the light sort of wraps around them and gives them a little depth. You'll also notice that their main light source comes from the right side, and the left side, where that rim light is more their shadow side. These colored rim lights are often used in digital art and digital illustrations because it's an easy and effective way to show depth to a flat 2D illustration. Another thing I notice is that even though these designs are very illustrative and somewhat sketchy, there are no prominent black lines anywhere. There's no comic booky crosshatching. All the shading is done in color. So these are some of the color principles I'll be trying to reproduce into my DC characters to really give it that Marvel Rivals style look. And I'll start with my Superman, just adding my flat colors and choosing the color layout for this costume design. While I was laying down these flat colors for Superman, something started to bother me. As I looked more at his character design, I kind of realized maybe he's not big enough to really be a tank in a Marvel Rival style game. In fact, some of you in the comments actually pointed this out in the previous video, and I tend to agree. He should be about as big as the Marvel Rivals Punisher or the Thor characters. So what could I do? I decided to just redesign his base model. I threw out these color flats and his ink line design and just designed a new version with the same pose. I don't mind these flat color choices, but let's just try this again. So I'll keep the same pose and I'll use the original design as a base guideline, and I'm just going to make them a lot thicker, a lot stronger looking, a lot more like the large size Marvel Rival characters. Every mistake, false start, or failure is a lesson learned. And I'm certainly learning a lot more by redoing this design. So never be afraid to kill your artistic darlings, because there is always something better on the other side. So I'll speed this thick Superman redesign along a little bit more so we can get to the colors already. Notice I've made a few adjustments with his face and his head. His head needs to be thicker to match the body, and I changed the part of his hair so that his little spit curl better resembles a nice S design. And here is the new line art ink design. I basically kept all the original design motifs from the other one. He just needed to be bigger and thicker. So please let me know in the comments what you think of this new design of Superman. And if you have any questions about this color process, please put that in the comments and I will get back to you and let you know. I should mention, if you're new to digital painting, never paint on your line art or ink layer. Duplicate that layer, put it to the top of the stack, and then all your painting and blending and coloring can go on the layers beneath the ink line. That way your ink line is always intact. You're never going to lose it. So I'll start again with the color flats here, and yeah, let's get into that. I really like adding the two tones of blue in his costume. I noticed that in the My Adventures with Superman animated series, and I always thought that was a really cool look. Just gives it a little extra something in all that blue. We'll add all the reds here and continue through the costume. Added a few more details with the red through the line work throughout the costume. I think it's kind of interesting. It's more interesting than just boots, trunks, and cape. I also thought this gold trim on his cape would be a nice added touch, something very rivalish. I'll start adding some shadow tones here. I'm choosing a light source that is coming from screen right. And when you're doing any drawing or painting, always decide where your light source is. It can really affect how you render, how you color an object or a character. Now I'm adding a shadow tone to all of his muscles to give it that three-dimensional depth. And to do that, I'm using the Clip Studio Paint watercolor brush, and the drop-down tool is the transparent watercolor. Each tone is on a separate layer. That way I can mask out or erase any overlap, and also just build up and darken those shadow tones if I need to. As I pick my colors, I like to add little color swatches off to the side. That way I keep track of my colors and I'm able to keep them consistent by knowing exactly where they are. So I'll speed this up a little bit more as I continue to add tones, contours, light and shadow to his face, suit, muscles, and everything else. And this is just a process of imagining the three-dimensional shapes and adding colors and tones continuously until I'm happy with the final outcome. And here's where I'll add that solid white rim light on his left side. And if we notice from examples from Marvel Rivals, there's a bit of magenta and cyan colors on the top and bottom of that hard white rim light. So I'll add those highlight colors as well to the rim light, and that will better replicate the Marvel Rivals style and look. I'll also add a final airbrush with a light side and a dark side to also really sell that depth a little bit more. I'll get rid of that white background and then I'll just add a few more details, and I think that's just about it. I think our Superman is done. So, what do you think? Did I achieve the Marvel Rivals color style for this character? Let me know in the comments. I know, it's not quite John Williams, but I just couldn't resist. And with that, Superman is done, and we're on to Wonder Woman. Let's check out her DC Rivals color process. And we'll start with her line art model that we designed in the previous DC Rivals video we did. And we'll start laying down our flat colors, just like we did with Superman. And remember, if you're new to digital coloring, always duplicate your ink drawing, your line art. Put it to the top of the stack, and then you can begin to fill the lower ink drawing if you want. You can fill that, and you can do all the coloring on the layers below your ink layer. You always want to preserve that line art. I'm keeping her costume colors very traditional, the old school red, blue, and gold. It's just what I like. It's what I prefer. I'm a little old school. I'm also adding two tones for the red, blue, and gold on the flat version here. And then I'll fill her hair with a very dark gray, not quite black, just very dark gray, and then I can add details later. And now on a separate layer, I'm going to start adding all the shadow tones to her face, her costume, all the contours of the character. And just like the Superman colors, I'm leaving the shadow side on the screen left, and her light source will be coming from screen right. That way, if I put the characters together, then the light sources line up and everything looks normal. Again, adding shadow tones is all about imagining the figure in a 3D space and figuring out where the shadow is going to fall. And then I'll add some reflective tones around her gold armor. And now I need to get rid of that white background so I can bring in the airbrush and highlight the lit and light areas and dark areas. And right about here is where I decided she really needs her magic lasso. So I'll design that on a separate layer and add it in later. I mean, how could I forget that? But finding a place on her hip to put it that's not obscured by her shield or her sword on the other side, uh, oh well, I guess there's only one place to put it, and I'll anchor it to her belt. I also felt like her sword was really lame, and someone in the comments mentioned that as well. It should look better, more Greek style. And now I'll add that hard rim light on the left side. And you might notice that I've changed a lot of the line art colors to more match her painted colors. And that is a tool in Clip Studio Paint called Clip to Layer Below. I put that above the ink layer. And then when I paint over it, it only affects the ink lines. So I can change it to match her painting style. And then I'll add some more of those highlights to her hair, and we're just about done, I would say. The color process for these characters takes quite a bit of time, so obviously this video is very sped up. But if you have any questions about the digital coloring process, please leave me a question in the comments, and I will get back to you. And leave me a comment and let me know what you think of these characters, of this color process. Did I achieve the Marvel Rivals look? If you're interested, I will be adding long form videos going through the design and digital coloring process. So if you're interested, look for those coming in the next week or so. And with that, our Marvel Rivals Wonder Woman color design process is done. What do you think? Is she rivalized enough? Please leave me a comment, let me know. And next week I'll be adding the color process for Batman, and I'll probably be adding maybe Black Canary or Poison Ivy, maybe the Huntress. Let me know in the comments. And if you're interested in getting high quality digital downloads of these DC rival characters, as well as a great way to support this channel, I'll make them available for a very small fee. And just check the link in the description below. And if you've made it to the end of this video, thank you so much. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe and click that bell icon so you never miss my upcoming videos. And with that, all the best, and I will see you in the next one.